and failing which, some people might have been exposed. They come to us for periodic monitoring. And there is possibility to control the risk factors, in the occupation. I always tell my medical colleagues who are working in the industry, you have a beautiful system. All the people are yours. You can modulate their health. Their health is in your hands. You can do that. But many of our, medical colleagues the system is not so well developed. They don't control the environment. They don't do periodic monitoring. Even though there is a possibility to, modulate their health, they are not doing it. But many of the, well-established companies are doing that, and they are monitoring the people's health. Coming to the, this is what is happening in the workplace. Now, not only the workplace, we are also exposed to, the lifestyle factors. So your lifestyle can either potentiate the problems you have acquired in the workplace, or it can negate, it can cancel those risk factors. Let's see. You can either choose the right food or you can choose the wrong food. It's up to you. And you can eat to your need, or you can eat like a glutton. That's up to you. So, and you can choose to do exercise in the evenings or whenever you have time, or you can sit around like this, or you can sleep your way to glory, right? You will not do any exercise, and you will see the effect afterwards. And Ravi showed a beautiful video of, the positive effects of not smoking. So you can prefer not to smoke, or you can prefer to smoke also. It's up to you. And we can choose to control our emotions, or you can let them free, right? We say this is easy, immediately you shout, and some people we have to teach them, no, please control your emotions, right? So now, in the Middle East lifestyle, I have been observing for the past 1.5 years what is happening in the Middle East. Mostly we are indoors, and there is too much of food. Go everywhere, there is food. Here the problem is not to eat. The problem is not getting the food. Problem is to control yourself from eating. That is the problem. Too much of food. And many of the people don't exercise because the adverse climate outside, and don't say you don't have time. We have plenty of time here. When we compare to India, we have plenty of time. It's a relaxed job almost for all of us, except you you prefer to do overtime. Otherwise, you have enough time, so you can exercise. And because of too much of food and no exercise, there is a tendency to put on weight and lose your hair also. I don't know why this is happening. The medical field is researching why people lose hair here. And young guys also, after some time, they look very bald. Probably the water we are using, it's desalinated from the sea. That might be one of the reasons. And stress, work-related stress is not that much. I think all of you will agree. But there is plenty of social stress. All of us are expert here. Always there is a lingering fear. We live in a strange country. It's not, the country is not our own. That sort of the homely feeling you get when you go to India, you don't get it here. Even though you are settled down for the past 15 years, 20 years, still expats have that sort of fear always. And apart from that, other social stress, there is not much of, get together. I'm thankful to TEF and organizations like this must, arrange for get together, and there should be lot of, meeting points to let out, this thing. And there are no relations for us here, all of us, okay, you may be related as a TEF, as, colleagues, but our relatives are not here. There is no social or relative events happening. So that side of our psyche is not it is deprived of that which you get. And also, everywhere you go, you see only, the desert. You don't see the greenery anywhere. The sereneness that comes from the nature, you cannot have here. I have a habit, on Sundays, in the evenings, wherever I find a green field, I'll go and sit in the middle of it in Chennai. But I can't do it here. I'll be either frozen or scorched. Okay? So, we are deprived. This is our, lifestyle here. This is a fact. So, what will happen if you continue with this lifestyle? You will become overweight. You will tend to put on too much of weight and become obese. And once you put on weight, which is the country which is having major diabetics in the world? India. Why? We are leaders in many things. We are leaders in diabetes. We are leaders in tuberculosis. TB patients we have got lots. And we are leaders in IT field. And our girls are earning, like anything. Leaders in corruption. Okay. You'll catch the point. You cannot escape from it. So, diabetics, once you put on weight over here, the central point, and as Asians, we are prone to develop central obesity. If you see an American or a German, the Westerners, they are globally obese. Everywhere they are obese. But if you see an Indian, they are always pregnant. We put on weight only here. Our tendency is that. So, once you develop that, my medical colleagues will agree, the central obesity is the cause of the nucleus for you to develop the diabetes. That is the starting point. So, whether you do exercise or not, try to reduce your belly. Probably you may not develop diabetes, right? And once you put on weight, you have tendency to develop high blood pressure and too much of cholesterol. In another, the Middle East lifestyle is calcium deficiency. Can you guess the reason why? Why? If you live indoors, what is this thing happening in sunlight? Vitamin D. Oh, very knowledgeable group, huh? Okay. So, vitamin D is the one which regulates your calcium inside your body. So, when you have vitamin D deficiency because you don't go to the sunlight and the body is not able to generate vitamin D and you develop, calcium deficiency. And this is more pronounced in women after the age of 40 or 45. Up to 45 till your menopause, the estrogen hormone is regulating your calcium and you don't develop calcium deficiency. You ask your gynecologist, they will be telling, once you cross 40 or 45, they will ask you to take calcium, supplements. And nowadays calcium supplements are coming with vitamin D also, which can, increase the calcium absorption from your body. And because of these risk factors, you can develop a risk for heart attack, stroke or kidney problems. And psychosocial problems or psychological problems are also there. Either you can go depressed or you can develop phobias. The fear disease, phobias. These two things are very common for expats. Whether you accept it or not, many of us are, either undergoing depression or we have phobia. All of us will have phobia. Even though your family is with you, I am alone here, so I am prone to depression. But, all people who are living with family, not because of the family you develop phobia because you live in a strange country. And, we are prone to, in Middle East, the refineries are more, the exposure to hydrocarbons, is more, and you can develop cancers, right? Especially leukemia is more prone to develop. And so what can we do to regulate our lifestyle? Now, try to regulate your lifestyle. If you are not exercising, please go to some gymnasium or at least running or walking. Try to exercise, and periodically, like in the industrial setup, we do periodic health monitoring. You also try to check up your health We call it as master health checkup in India. It's very common, and it should start between 35 or 40, and once in 3 years at least. And if you have crossed 50 every year, you have to check. What are the things to check in the master health checkup? Now, many of the hospitals, especially in India, will be cheating on you, right? Master health checkup, executive health checkup, all these things, they will, budget it, and 2,000 or 3,000 rupees in India. So these are the things you require. You need a fasting blood sugar and a fasting lipid profile and blood urea and serum creatinine, then ECG and echo and USG abdomen, ultrasound abdomen. These things, if you do, that is enough to find out how healthy you are. I'll show you. And for women, especially, the breast examination is a must. Self breast examination also can be done. You can ask your gynecologist how to do it. And mammogram is another important test which can pick up early tumors in the breast. And for women also, you need a pap smear study for diagnosing the cervical cancer. And nowadays vaccines are available to prevent cervical cancer. And thyroid profile is a must for most of the women, because thyroid problem is very common in women. Not only in women, men also are prone, but most common in women. And what is called bone density analyzer, which can give you a brief idea about your, how strong your bones are, and blood calcium level. These are the things required. Now, I'll show you one this thing, what you can do with blood reports, and then I'll close. Yeah. Okay. If we have done those tests, then it's easy to calculate this risk score released by the American Heart Association. Risk of developing a cardiac event, a heart event, for the next 10 years. If you have your all these factors, this is one way of calculating the risk. Suppose you say you are a male and your age is 48 and your cholesterol level is, I will say it is, you have been eating too much of non-veg, so it is 355. Oh no, it won't accept 355. Enter a value between 3 up to 320 only you are allowed. So, okay. And Ravi was talking about smoking. Oh, I entered wrongly. I thought, no. Yes. So this is 320. And suppose you don't want to obey Ravi, and you say, I will smoke my way through. See, your risk has become more than 20. So better listen to Ravi and stop smoking. Now you decided to quit your smoking today. So we'll say no. How the risk reduces? See, it becomes almost 14%. Now, if you decide to reduce your cholesterol also, and you stop all non-veg and become a vegetarian or occasional non-vegetarian, then your cholesterol level goes down to 185. Right? See, this is we can evaluate your risk of developing the heart attack or any cardiac event for the next 10 years. And if your risk is more than 10%, we need to take urgent treatment. If it is less than 10%, you can be a little relaxed, and you have to cut down your all the risk factors. You can change your lifestyle. So this can be worked out. So it is in your hands. You can periodically monitor your health and try to regulate your health and keep a tag on your risk factors and try to control them. This way, if you do it, then your health could be improved or no risk factors. I think that's all I can tell you. Any doubt or anything you want to add or delete?
Nowadays, the risk factor they add blood sugar also.
Yeah. Now the risk factor which you calculated from this formula, if you are a diabetic, it's doubled. If you are not a diabetic, that's the risk. If your risk factor is 14, and if you are a diabetic, it is double, 28%. Right? Anything else? Okay, thank you.